The Run Lift Mom podcast is brought to you by my efforts as a Zaya Active independent representative and partners Hello Woofy for social media, Red H Nutrition, and Audible. Audible is the newest of this lineup, and if you want to try Audible free, all you've got to do is visit audibletrial.com/runliftmom. Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. Today, we're going to be squarely in the momming category, and with our theme of modeling healthy behaviors, I have got someone that not only inspires others to declutter and simplify, but she's done it for her now grown children as well. In 2014, Rebecca Saltzman moved to Israel with her husband and 3 children from New York City. They sold everything, they thinned it down, and they moved almost across the world. You guys, Rebecca has a fascinating background. She holds a degree in fashion from Parsons School of Design, and she has been helping people declutter in one form or another for over 20 years, but now does it professionally. Without further ado, Rebecca Saltzman. All right, welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, Rebecca Saltzman.
Hi, nice to be here.
Boy, I need you in my life, in my house, because you are a professional organizer and really fantastic with priority management. I would love for you to talk to my listener, though, about how you became a professional organizer and kind of what you do now.
Okay, so we were living in a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City, me and my 3 kids. I had twins, and I have one who's 21 months older than my twins. And at the time, they were about, I think, 2. And I couldn't take the clutter anymore. And I was like, oh gosh, it's crazy. And everything just felt so stressful all the time. And then I read this book called Zero Waste Home, and I was like, yes, I need to do this in my life. And I started looking for ways that I could reduce my waste and started to adopt zero waste strategies in our home. And that sort of led to us getting rid of all the excess in our house. And I was like, yes, this feels so good. And then I was like, okay, I have made this change in my life, and I have, adopted the zero waste lifestyle, and I'm feeling great and my house is looking better, but I have a job that doesn't really align with my new zero waste values. So I quit my job and I became a personal organizer. In a
So
nutshell.
wild. It's so wild. One thing led to another, and I quit my job and got rid of everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I will say that I'm definitely not a minimalist, but we do live with less than most people, and that I have curated my collection of stuff so that it feels comfortable for us. I think we could always do a little bit better, but I feel comfortable with the level of stuff that we have in our house right now.
I love that. I really love that. I mean, listeners will know we've had folks talk about capsule wardrobes on this show, and it's really nice when you can reduce any decision anxiety. And then
Yes.
it's also just helps in terms of clarifying thinking patterns. Do you find that?
Right. Yeah. So I actually have a capsule wardrobe. It makes my life so much easier. I don't have to think. Everything matches everything else. All I have to do is pick whatever's next in the rotation. It does seem like it takes the fun out of it, especially, I don't know if I told you this, but I actually have a degree in fashion design. So it seems like it would take the fun out of it, but actually it makes my life so much less stressful. And I've picked these pieces that I really, really love. And all I am doing is just cycling through my closet until they wear out, and then I get something new.
I love it. It's just fantastic. Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Talk to me a little bit in that realm of organization and simplifying how you have modeled healthy behavior.
Okay, so what I do with my family is I try to not make them do what I do. So, for example, we have things in our house that, we are doing zero waste as a family. Like we don't use paper towels, or I don't know, we make homemade cleaners, or we just use less in general. And those are things that I try to get my kids on board with. But for the most part, I'm trying to just do my part and be a good, lead by example. And this way I can say to them, do as I do instead
Hmm.
of, like, I'm not going to do it, so you should do it kind of thing. Like, I'm actually living the life that I want them to lead. I'm leading by example. And I think that that is what makes it easier for them to do. And they, like, my son had a bar mitzvah in December, and I said to him, like, we're doing it zero waste style. We didn't have any disposable cutlery or dishes or anything like that. And I made it very clear to the caterer that this is not something we were going to do. It wasn't a huge event, but and I make it a priority in everything that I do, and then it just trickles down to them. And I think that that's the best way to teach your kids how to do anything, is to make it a priority.
I love that you said you don't force them necessarily to do exactly what you're doing. It's more the lifestyle that you're exposing them to, but then
Exactly.
setting that boundary, for example, with the bar mitzvah.
Right, exactly. And with organization too. Like, my kids have adapted to the capsule wardrobe as well, because they see, like, they don't have to put away their laundry as much. It's kind of a headache to get them to put away their laundry a little bit, I'll be honest. So the less that they have to put away, the happier they are. And now, slowly, as now that they're becoming teenagers, they recognize this, and they're like, yeah, this makes my life easier.
I love this. My next question for you is how could others, so like moms of teenagers, influence something like this? Like maybe somebody's listening and they're like, yes, we need to simplify. I need to get the family on board. What are you suggesting to those folks?
Okay, so it's a little more difficult with older kids, because it takes time to condition people to do what you want them to do, like, to learn a new habit. So it's a lot easier with small kids to say, what you want them to do. But I think with teenagers, it's just like, be specific, talk about what you're doing, and be specific with what you want them to do. So don't just say to a teenager, clean up your room. Say to them, put your clothes in the laundry in the hamper, and pick up all the books from the floor, and bring down all the dirty dishes and whatever else
Mm.
they have in their room. And if you're specific with them, it's much easier for them to process what you need them to do for you. And I think that this is a great rule of thumb for just life in general. When you are specific with what you need from other people, you are more likely to get exactly what you need from them. And so it's just a good rule of thumb in general.
I think that is a wonderful tip. And listener, I hope you heard that. You can also swipe up or click details. I'm going to put it smack dab in the middle of the show notes. So that's a really, really great tip to break down exactly what you need if you're giving someone direction.
Exactly.
Oh, I love this. Let me ask also, you have the Journey to Organization podcast. You
I
do
do.
decluttering sessions on Zoom. I mean, you really are an organization expert. What if
Mm.
someone is listening, right, Rebecca, and they're like, oh man, I've been thinking about doing this for a long time,
Okay.
meaning simplifying or decluttering. What would you suggest as a personal first step? Forget about the family, forget about the teenagers or littles.
Right. So decluttering is like losing weight. If you don't try to lose like 30 pounds in 1 minute, it's going to be a lot more successful. So take it slow. As long as something is leaving your house every day, it's a great start. What I like to start out with my students in my online courses is, I like to start out with I teach people to do 5 minutes in each room. So I tell them, set a timer for however many rooms you have times 5 minutes. So if you have, 5 rooms, 25 minutes, and then spend 5 minutes in each room, and just look for the low hanging fruit, things that you know right away that you can get rid of. Aim for 10 items from each room. And then if you start to do that like every day for a week, you're going to get a lot of items out of your house just to start. And then what I say to people is, go ahead and just pick a drawer, pick a closet, pick a shelf, whatever, and just start to do 15 minutes a day. Because most people can't do the Marie Kondo style by themselves, where they're pulling everything out of the space and then deciding what they want. It's too overwhelming, and then they end up going to sleep on their pile of clothes because they just like leave it there on their bed. And, I don't want that for people. So I always like to start out a little bit slow. And then if you still are feeling stuck with the slow start, then it's time to call either a friend or a pro to have someone to be accountable to.
This is so fantastic. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So I'm going to put, of course, all of your information. Where can we find you on the socials? Do you hang out mostly on Facebook since you've got that group going?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm even on TikTok.
All the places, you guys.
All the places.
All the places. I'm going to put Rebecca's information again. It's going to be in the show notes. Click details, swipe up. Rebecca, are you ready for some rapid fire unrelated to organization?
I am. Hit me with your best shot.
I love it. Okay, would you rather read the book or watch the movie?
Read the book.
Hot pink or blush pink?
Ooh, blush.
And how about run or lift?
Lift.
Wonderful. You passed the test. Really, Rebecca. This is so fantastic. I realize you've taught us a number of things. First of all, how to model that healthy behavior and staying organized and making life easier for the family, but then also giving us some very tactical tips for our personal organization.
Well, I hope that your listeners find it easy and adaptable information.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for coming on Run Lift Mom. Listener, if you want to click details or swipe up, you are going to see all the things from Rebecca. She's got a really great Facebook group, Organizing in Israel. I've also got her website and her Instagram linked there as well. Her podcast, Journey to Organization, talks about decluttering and reducing waste. She also has an online decluttering challenge called Conquer Your Clutter. If you want to do one of her mini courses on time management, you can do that for free, and you can get 2 free months of premium Skillshare. So her course is over on Skillshare. The link is going to be, again, in the show notes. You're going to click details or swipe up. If you click that link, you can not only take that time management course, but again, get 2 free months of premium Skillshare. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for offering that to the Run Lift Mom community. And until I get into your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast. Hey, Run Lift Mom listeners, you know I'm the mom of 4 kids under age 5, and therefore I am always looking for ways to work smart, not hard. Anchor is the smartest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you why. First of all, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, but Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so then it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole lot more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is quite literally everything you need all in one place. And y'all, it's free. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Even though this is a presidential election, there are many more candidates on the ballot besides the president. Go to Ballot Ready for a nonpartisan guide to your entire ballot. From there, you can compare candidates based on stances on issues, biography, or endorsements, and save your choices to use when you vote by mail or in the voting booth. You can even request your absentee ballot or make a plan to vote early or on Election Day. This election matters. Make sure you have a plan to vote and stay informed. You can go to ballotready.org and enter your address to make a plan to vote and vote informed.
Thank you for listening to Run Lift Mom. This show is sponsored by